Hello, welcome back to the BCS podcast, National Championship Week. Major technical difficulties this week. We've already tried to record this, I think twice.
Yep.
My PC's not working with me, but once I get my fantasy football payout, I'll buy a new laptop. So that'll be the end of the month. So once we start into the off season of football and more hockey and basketball, which I think we're going to try to do this at least weekly. At least bi-weekly, I'll say. So I said this in the last video. I just went on record. I was the one that couldn't record last week, not Cozy. Cozy wanted to record. He asked multiple times. I was unable to make it work this past week. Well, 2 weeks ago. So how was your past week and a half, Cozy?
It's been good. I mean, we haven't recorded this new year yet. So there's been a lot that's happened. There's been the whole playoffs, basically. But, it's been, you've been dealing with other stuff outside of technical difficulties. So, not diving in too much, but you were sick for a week. So, hey, it happens.
Yeah.
Things happen like that. But would you like to go first with your bowl game / do you want me to go first and discuss?
I guess we can go quickly with mine. I had a blast. I love those types of bowl games. I know I'd obviously rather be in a real bowl game, but I thought it was, again, the Texas people, for me, like Michigan making that game, again, all things considered, I think it was actually pretty good. I think the season overall is pretty good. I'll probably do a video later today. I'm going to probably record it about my end of the season thoughts and stuff. But Bryce played really well the first 3 quarters. Funnily enough, we brought in Cincinnati legend and Buckeye legend. I don't know if you want to say legend, but Kerry Coombs came in. The last move of Sharon Moore was to hire Kerry Coombs. And our special teams went from bottom 5 in the country, like Power 5 wise, to we have Andrew Marsh, probably the best Michigan skill position player in terms of NFL type talent in a long time. I know Loveland's tearing up the NFL. And we put him back at kick return. He had like 4 kick returns for like 170 yards. Considering that he totaled Michigan's season return yards in one game. It's like, what the hell are we doing here? Cole Sullivan made a good play, but he's now persona non grata. We'll do that in a minute. But yeah, again, Bryce played great for the first 3 quarters. Then he kind of lost his mind. I think it's a very weird dynamic because we basically all but hired both of our coordinators before the game. And Wink, our defensive coordinator, decided to not wear any Michigan gear. And he was basically protesting the whole game. Kind of the same thing as weird. Most of the defense knew that they were going to get processed out, essentially. So basically, what did that allow? That allowed Arch Manning to turn into a Michael Vick for 4 quarters. And I don't know if this is a dumb take. It probably is. But again, with Bryce having no coaching, he's super inexperienced, obviously, even though he's started a whole season. I think he started going hero ball at the end because every time they got the ball, they scored. And it was kind of like, I assume he's like, I got to score 7 every time, which they did for a while. Again, considering we had running back 4 was our starter. Kutzdahl was doing all right. I don't even know. We're obviously recording this on MLK Day in the morning. I don't even know if he's on Michigan's team or not because he's still in the portal. I think he's weighing being running back 3 at Michigan or like a starter somewhere else. I know like Syracuse is really interested in him. I'm like, bro, go be a starter. Like, what the hell? But overall, Michigan had a great game, great everything. I know we ended up losing, but I had a blast. I know it was funny after the game, like all the in-game stuff was hilarious. Texas was doing their stuff. The cheese guy was running around, Sir Chedward or some shit. I don't know. Prince Chedward, that's what it was. And like they're crowning Arch, and he's like, "This is great." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, man, they were the national championship favorite, preseason number 1, and had to beat Michigan with no coach, with an interim coach in the Cheez-It Bowl. Like, congrats, bro, you got it.
Yeah.
The only SEC win, I believe, over another Power 5 team in the bowl games was when they were an 8-point favorite against a coach with a backup, or like a backup coach. So, because I think the only other SEC team to beat a Power 5 team was Ole Miss that beat
And they
Georgia.
beat another
Yeah,
SEC team. Oh, you forgot. Alabama also won against Oklahoma in a
another SEC team. There you go.
another
Okay,
SEC team.
that's what it
So
was.
yeah,
All
so
right.
we're just racking up wins in the conference
Yeah,
because the greatest conference. Um, but
I thought that Iowa game was fun, but
no, the Iowa game was a lot of
I only
fun.
saw a little bit on my phone. But
I mean, I
we'll
mean,
get to the main. We'll get to the main point
I
here.
mean, I mean, I'll tell you what was really fun was Illinois and your beating your boys. I thought that was
Man, I
that was
was where the funniest part is, so we were dropping my sister off at the airport, and she's our connection to the school. So I was wearing Tennessee stuff, but I was like half rooting for Illinois. It was very funny. My sister, again, very limited ball knowledge, but she was not happy that if you look at the stadium, right, it's a Tennessee home game, I think technically.
oh, it
Um,
definitely was.
and well, just technically speaking, because there was a shite ton of Illinois fans came down.
Yeah,
It was
it
freezing, so it was
was.
more Big Ten weather. But she was very pissed that if you look at the state in the end zone, it's Nashville, and they color the ILL differently. And she's like, What's up with that? Like they get their thing and not us because she went to the Tennessee Illinois basketball game in Nashville like 2 weeks before. And she's like, these people are so annoying. They just spell the first three letters out all game long. She's like, I had dudes running out to be going ILL. What the hell is that? She's so bullshit. And I'm like, okay, relax. And then she's like, they just took over my city again and did the same thing. They beat us in two sports. This is bullshit. So she wants a new quarterback. She got one yesterday.
We did.
Ryan Staub, the third string from
Ryan, stop.
Colorado. Good luck, dude, I guess.
Ooh, man,
Yeah, but I don't really know what's going on with Tennessee. It's weird. I
they're in a
I
they're in
think
a
Heupel's going to be on the hot seat a lot quicker than he realizes, and I don't think it's his problem. Not his problem.
uh
But it's his
we
issue.
could go into the whole another podcast about how it's not his problem and how there's a lot of programs out there that are not their problems, that they're on the hot seat, and it's weird.
Very
But I
weird.
will say this, so we can dive into Cotton Bowl. Disappointing, not repeating as champs. I can say this now that we lost two games this year, and it's guaranteed to be one to the national champion and one to be the national runner-up.
Mhm.
Still, overall season disappointing with the talent you had, with the defense you had. There was a combination of stuff, and I think a lot of the whole Brian Hartline leaving, the whole this and that happening, Ryan Day taking over play calling, things that I can't really say that I know happened because I don't want people posting this on YouTube, but I'll just say that behind the scenes stuff was going on and occurring that was not the best thing for the team, and the mentality of the team really suffered from that. The mentality of the coaching staff really suffered from it. If you would have told me we would have been down 14-0 at halftime and you were running your slow paced offense, and then in the second half you got, this is my biggest complaint, is we ran a tempo offense for 2 drives and scored 2 touchdowns, excuse me, and got right back
easily too.
pretty easily. Yes. And then you get the ball back to midway, like 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and you ran 7 plays, punted it away, and it took 4:30 off the clock. When you're down 17-14, instead of running your tempo, you went back into the shell.
And you guys did the same thing against Indiana, and I know we talked about it too, even with Alabama when they did it against Oklahoma. I'm like, these teams, and it's funny because whenever I watch these games with my grandpa, like I realize where my knowledge and like the way I root for football happens. He's like again, and it's the same thing with me where it's like he obviously hates Ohio State and was loving that Miami loss, but he's the same with me where it's like deep down he like wants good football. So he found himself like being like, Ohio, what are you guys doing? He's like, you ran hurry up and it worked. And he goes, more importantly, you know that they're going to sit on the ball as the second they get it. Like you need to like keep going faster and like open up possessions. And I know, I think it was the Oklahoma game when Oklahoma was playing in Alabama and Oklahoma kicked a field goal. Granted, they set up for a 50-yard field goal.
Yes.
but like it's like you got to maximize possessions, and I know,
Yep,
and it's and
exactly.
the funniest thing is it is Stallions' thing. He always talks about it. I know it's bad, but he's always like, "Look, guys, it's analytics. Like, I understand it sucks, but like, you got to maximize the stuff." And like the Bears did the same shit last night,
Yep.
and I know it ended up working, but I looked at it and I'm like, okay, it's 4th and 4, and you now got 20 seconds left. It's like, so even if you get this, you still only have like 3 plays,
Yep.
and they did the same thing against the Niners. It's like this
Yeah.
weird analytics thing that just pisses
It's
me off.
okay. It's almost like the head football coach or the offensive coordinator, whoever is in charge of calling the plays on offense, is trying to reinvent the wheel and outthink everybody.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's like when you're Ohio State, and this is going to sound super cocky, and I
It's
think
okay.
Blake can tell you, I am not the cocky Ohio State fan type. But
Mhm.
when you are Ohio State, I want as many plays run tempo wise as possible and getting the ball into as many playmakers' hands as possible. I don't want this. Hey, we're going to take the play clock all the way down, all 40 seconds. We're going to slow down the game. When you're Ohio State and you have the better talent, you don't do that.
No.
Like, you should just be running plays, play after play. You should be taking 20 seconds off the play clock and running a play,
Mhm.
25 seconds off a play clock and running a play. Like, I would almost say right now, the worst thing for Ohio State is a 40-second play clock. Go back to 25 seconds because then you're going to force us into running a play quicker. And that's going to give us more opportunity to get the ball into our playmakers' hands with more players getting an opportunity as well. And by the way, you want to stop having these wide receivers transfer out of your team? Guess what? Start running more plays. Because if you get 10 targets to Jeremiah Smith and you get 4 targets to Brandon Ennis, and then you get another 5 targets to Carnell Tate, and then you can get 2 to 3 targets for your second or you're too deep on the depth chart. Like you're going to start rotating players in and out when you're running more plays. And that's totally fine. The problem is we out talented Miami. And when you got the tempo going, their defensive line could not keep up with the tempo. They
No.
weren't as quick as
Exactly.
getting off and getting the pass. And we even started running the ball well. Like we ran the
Mhm.
ball well on those 2 games. And
Yeah.
it's just like everything opened up and then you went back into a shell. And then when you did that 4 minute drive and then had to punt the ball away, your defense was still so tired. But I will say this when it was 3rd and 11 and Carson Beck took off and he truck stick 2 defensive backs to get a first down, I immediately said, the only way we're winning this game is if Miami really screws up. Like, that's the only way we're winning in this game. And we were only down by 3 points at that point. But I could just tell Carson Beck wanted it more. And now we've seen through this whole playoffs, especially in the past 2 games, Carson Beck he's kind of making a rightful name for himself to where teams might actually start looking at drafting him. Not where they probably were going to when I know there was people that were like saying that he could go first round this year or maybe middle second round, but like he's probably going to be a 3rd or 4th round pick now at
Yeah.
minimum. I mean, it's a bad quarterback class, but he's made a name for himself. He's looked really good in these playoff games. I mean, that drive against Ole Miss was outstanding.
Woo!
I
Like
mean, that
if you would
drive.
have thought that, yeah, if you would have picked between the two quarterbacks, who's gonna have like the FU drive, walk down the field and win
Oh,
the game? It was Trinidad
Trinidad.
minus 6,000.
Yeah, exactly. And then Carson Beck was just like, and then he walks in the end zone, and it's just like, who is this guy? Because this is not the same guy that we saw all season. He didn't even have that good a game against Ohio State. It's just the main play in the game was obviously the interception was the main game changer because
Mm-hmm.
we were going down to score. I will say this. Ryan Day has got a hit on an outside hire for OC. Don't like where I'm hearing things are heading with that. Unless Ryan Day changes. I will say this, and I think I have a major theory about Ryan Day and his play calling and how it has changed. This is going to be a really hot take, and I haven't even said this to you, even off the
Mm-hmm.
record. Kyle McCord ruined Ryan Day.
Okay.
Kyle McCord turned Ryan Day into not being able to trust a quarterback to throw the ball downfield. Kyle McCord ruined Ryan Day by saying we need to throw or we need to run a limited number of plays. We need to take the whole play clock. We need to reinvent our offense to where we're a possession handling team and not this run and shoot and run and gun type of offense. Because if you look back, even when he was Urban Meyer's offensive coordinator, when he first was head coach, we were, hey, let's go up tempo, up tempo, up tempo. Kyle McCord changed it all. The only time under Ryan Day since Kyle McCord has not done that is last year. And we saw that worked out. Kind of worked out for the best. I think that there's a Kyle McCord kind of thing that happened, and it changed Ryan Day's philosophy. And I don't think he's recovered, and I think he needs to realize the talent he has at quarterback right now. Julian's inexperienced, but he's going to be coming back for a second year. So like, give him the reins, trust him, and let's start going up tempo. It's clear that it works. The fact that everybody who's sitting on the sidelines not getting paid to be the head coach can recognize this is a little concerning. Now, granted, he won a national title. He gets a whole year of whatever. But with what we just got in the portal, you better be making a run. I don't care what the schedule looks like. You better be making a run again next year. You kept all of your starters. Like, the whole offensive line is back again next year. And they better be better. They better be better.
Yeah.
Because that was it. Because some of them, now granted, hold on, let me just say this. Everyone who wants to argue that we lost our starting right guard, good. Like, good riddance. He was not great. I just say this. With what we got in the portal, I'm very happy with. We got a kicker, and there's no excuse. You can't just not use him. He's the only kicker on the roster, so you can't just not use him. You got your slot guys. You got 2 slot guys, too. Like, the amount of production that we actually got out of the portal, it's kind of insane. And I'm kind of impressed by it. And everyone who, for the, week and a half of the sky is falling in Ohio State.
I love when you guys do that. It's
kind of reminds me of 2 years ago. And what did I say? I kept telling everybody, settle down. Don't freak out. The sky is not falling. We will get players.
It's just you guys are such a spoiled fan base. I know I never talk about you, obviously, but like,
I know.
It's just so funny how spoiled Ohio State is. Like, it's like, oh, like 99% of people would kill themselves to like have a half of a chance of being as good as Ohio State, and it's like ridiculous. But like, the part where you can sell me on like what's been going on is like, if you do your Ohio State 3 goals thing, right? Win the conference, win the championship, and beat Michigan. Yeah. You do that for like the last 5 years, you're 2-15. Like, that's where, if you want to complain, I understand, right? Like, because the funny Michigan angle is the last time Ohio State won the conference, you had to change the rules for them to get into it. That's the funny thing that we can do. But I mean, people are saying you sold your soul to beat Michigan. I don't know, but that's a whole different thing. Because again, let's think about it though. Like, now, even funnier. Like, 'cause I know beforehand we were talking about if you would have lost to Michigan on purpose, A, it might have made you like lock in more. B, Sharon Moore would still be employed. So, I don't know. It's a whole thing. But I mean, the way too early poll already came out, for all these networks, and it's Ohio State #1 again. So we're doing that again. That's okay. But
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I'm kind of whatever. I mean, everyone was kind of down on us, though, at the end of the season. And now it's like everyone's like, oh, they got a lot of talent in the portal. And it's kind of shocking. And Kenyatta Jackson's back. And I don't know. I would have liked to have McDonald back. But I understand, man, you're going to go make a lot of money at the next level. And you're going to be possibly a first-round draft pick. So I totally understand it. I would have loved to seen Caleb Downs come back too, but I know that wasn't happening. I know Arbel Reese wasn't coming back. Like, I will say this. The fact of the matter is that you have players already in positions. I'm not going to go shit on a player who entered the transfer portal. I will just say some of the players that left our team, I'm happy with the attitude they took with them, and don't let the door hit you on the way out. And I'm not going to say who I'm talking about, but Blake knows who I'm talking about. I'm not going to trash him,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of happy. Um, and there's a few other players that did that as well. Other than that, I mean, overall, since I've kind of slid into our recruiting and slid into our portal stuff, I mean, your portal's been pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of had to be. I mean, we had significantly a lot more spots and
Yes.
stuff open up. Um, I know you can't do it, but if you factor in how many kids entered the portal and we brought back, I mean, I don't think we really lost any. Like, there's like one, obviously, Cole Sullivan said earlier, it's probably the only player you lost where you wanted back.
Yeah.
I mean, the rest of these guys, like, they kind of, I mean, I guess Elijah Dotson, maybe freshman kid, but you bring in like the best guys at Utah. I mean, JG Buchanan, that's your Loveland replacement. Like a receiver in a tight end's body type thing. You bring in some help around the place, and you bring back. You keep Andrew Marsh, who I'm stunned did not enter the portal even to come back. Obviously, you bring Bryce back. That one was kind of a no-brainer. Like, even though you probably shouldn't have paid him a bit more. The rumor is he got paid a bit more, but I mean, optics wise, you couldn't get rid of him, right? You do that. You bring in again some more help, just kind of all over, like sprinkling guys in. Right at the buzzer last night, you bring in the North Dakota State captain linebacker, which thought be a good
He's
replacement.
real. I watched him play 2 games this year. He's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, you got
Which
to
I mean,
replace Cole Sullivan, who's probably going to be a day 1 or 2 pick next year. But
you can still pick up players right now, so we're not
yep,
quite done with the portal. Now the portal's closed, but I could see you guys adding a few more pieces. I could see us adding a few more pieces.
yeah,
Um,
I mean, like a lot of guys were on the way. Like again, like Jake Guanera was on the way out. Andrew Sprague was on the way out. I mean, you lose Ty Haywood, but whatever. I mean, when you pay a guy $1 million and he plays like 5 snaps as a freshman, it just is what it is. You bring in Jamie French as a receiver. That's awesome. So, what is it? Selassie, I think is how you pronounce it. Selassie Moa. He signed his letter of intent. He enrolled in classes at Miami or at Utah, then transferred like a week later. So he's technically a transfer. He was really a recruit. You kept both of your big 5-star guys, Savion Hyder and Carter Meadows. Um, I know it's kind of lame and it stinks, but like, retention was like the number one priority. Like even Whittingham talked that he met with every kid on the roster at least twice, with the conversations and stuff. So a lot of kids got processed out, especially like on defense, like the secondary. He like interviewed everybody. He's like, hey, if they have like a 2 tight end set here, where do you line up? And half these kids couldn't answer. And he's like, come on, what are we doing here? So, it is what it is. I mean, just like in corporate life, some people get promoted and make too much money doing they don't know what the hell they're doing. So, you got a lot of guys. There's a couple guys you wanted to add to, but the lazy answer is you kind of brought in Whittingham super late in the cycle, so it stinks. And there's only one portal, but I think going forward you'll kind of go and build your stuff up. But I mean, you're now bringing back an entire O line that's going to be internal again. They're all young. I mean, Evan Link is still technically a junior. I mean, you have a bunch of juniors and sophomores, really, and true freshmen, not true freshmen, but redshirt freshmen that'll be starting. So, with that, with Hyder, with Bryce, with Marsh, I mean, if you develop really well this year and everyone's junior year, you can kind of go all in. And then, that's in theory the year you buy everybody in the portal. And it's like, okay, cool. Because a lot of these quarterbacks are coming back around college football where I think it might be a dip the year after. This year will be pretty good. It's going to stink probably that Michigan's going to be fighting their ass off for a bowl game, not a bowl game, for a playoff appearance again. I mean, we have another brutal schedule. So,
yeah.
because this was kind of the free roll year with the shit schedule. But
that game in Columbus could mean for a playoff spot. Could be an elimination game.
man, we got Penn State at Iowa. We've got Indiana. We've got Oklahoma. We've got at Oregon, at Ohio State. Like,
We're
Michigan State's going to get a little annoying. That's like 6 or 7 losable games. Like when we were looking at get Sharon coming back or promoting or looking at promoting Biff for a little bit, it was like, dude, we could go 5-7. I think I openly said, like, I hate sports. We're going 5-7 because there was a chance we are going to get higher Biff. Thankfully, he was a terrorist. So
I got a few of those text messages.
It was bad. It was bad. I mean, it was a dark spot.
Like,
at that point, Andrew Marsh was going to enter the portal.
Yeah.
Bryce was probably going to enter the portal. Marsh, if he entered the portal, was gone. So the fact he didn't was great. Do I like that my official Twitter account has to tweet about bad kids? Not bad kids. Kids that are maybe, in a sense, lucky to be at Michigan re-signing. Okay. But, like, whatever, dude.
I will say this. You brought it up and you said about re-signing and things like that. There is a major problem with the portal right now. And we talked about this for multiple years. And I'm glad you said about re-signing. There's a guy who plays quarterback at Duke or did play quarterback at Duke. And I'm not quite sure what the ruling is going to be on this officially. And I don't think we actually know right now, but there needs to be addressed the portal issue, and there needs to be some rules set out that if you re-sign somewhere, you got to be able to hold up your end of the bargain. And look, the other thing is, while we're talking about it, the revenue sharing in the ACC, because they want to keep their programs in the ACC, they don't split it with the whole conference. So Miami now has made a playoff game, a Cotton Bowl, where did they play? Fiesta Bowl, and then a national title. They are taking all their money and they are getting to keep all their money. And all that money now is going to pay for a buyout to Duke from a contract to get their quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, what is the crazy thing is here, I think that you need to do a new rule where you can't be transferring every single year. I think everyone should agree on this, and I don't know why we haven't come to a normal agreement. You get one transfer unless your coach leaves. And if that's your position coach or your head coach, that's fine. But you get one transfer granted, and then that's it. Enough with these. We shouldn't be going into every offseason having everyone on pins and needles if, oh, by the way, and it's not just fans, obviously, it's the coaching staff. They got to be going into this going, well, I need to get the ball to so-and-so so many times or he's going to transfer. I need to get this guy so many reps. I need to get this guy so many snaps. I need to get this and that. Look, there's a certain point where you're seeing the portal open up and so many guys go to it because they have agents who are instructing them to go to the portal. And right now, we're actually seeing a lot of guys go back to their schools and say, hey, I don't want to leave the school anymore. It's not the greener or the pasture's not always greener on the other side kind of thing. I want to come back. And they're getting, well, we don't have a spot for you. You left. We filled your spot.
Mm-hmm.
So now some of these kids are, I've heard this quite a bit, that some of these kids are just sitting out there in the portal and they don't have anywhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
So when does push come to shove and when do we see this whole thing get pushed down? Because that's kind of my thing. I think it has to happen in the next 2 years.
There's got to be something. It's tough because you can't really plug it back in the hole in theory once you've already pulled the plug or whatever, whatever algorithm or analysis you want to use there. But it's just dumb. Like, I mean, again, for those that are not really paying attention, like, think of it like if last weekend NFL free agency opened and every player in the NFL is on a 1-year deal every year. That's literally what it is. Everybody's an expiring free agent at all times, and it's in the middle of the cycle. Like, again, like Indiana and these guys in Miami, whatever, have to be signing portal classes while they're preparing for the national championship. Obviously, not
Yep.
as bad now, but like last week, Ole Miss has to deal with these half their staff leaving, and I know it's whatever. Ole Miss and LSU are getting pissed about it or whatever, but it's like, dude, they have to have like LSU has to work on their staff, and LSU they're crazy what they've done, but it's a whole different issue. But it's really bad right now. Interesting enough, basketball just agreed on a one I think it's like a 2-week portal basically, and I think it's the day after the national championship game. So that makes a lot of sense. Like if the portal opened tomorrow night, I think that make a lot of sense. But then again, I don't really know if anyone really knows what the hell is going on. And I think the NCAA is just mad that everyone kind of took their power away. So I don't even know what's up with that. So I guess we can talk about the big title game tonight. What are your thoughts on it, Cozy?
I really like Miami. If Carson Beck plays the way that he's played throughout this whole playoffs, I know Mendoza's clutch, but Carson Beck might be the most clutch quarterback in the playoffs right now. And if Indiana's not blowing them out of the water, do we really know that Mendoza's that clutch?
So he had like what one game-winning drive this year?
I mean, he had that nice nice drive against Ohio State. I mean, it was a short field.
Yeah, it was more than in Penn State, but yeah.
Penn State was the one game-winning drive. I mean, Indiana really hasn't been tested that much at all this year. I would be really interested to see if Indiana gets a pick on their opening possession again for the 11th straight game.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous at this point. I think that the defensive line for Miami will give enough pressure to Mendoza to where he gets flustered and doesn't have a great game. I think that this is more of like a Big Ten title type of game, scoring wise. I think it's very low scoring. I think the difference is Miami puts that touchdown in at the end of the game where Ohio State didn't, and they win 17-13.
Wow. Yeah, I don't even know why everybody hates Miami so much. Like, again, I remember looking at the Ohio State spread and I was like, 9, it's crazy. We've just seen Miami just lean on people. They've really embraced their team. I know I've said it before. They remind me of the Michigan championship team, where it's like you look up at the clock and you're like, "Holy shit, it's halftime!" We got the ball twice. What the hell? Like they're so good at those things where, again, it's just they just take they barely turn the ball over. They really play well. They play, again, Carson Beck's. I never thought he was that bad. I know everyone made fun of him, and it was easy to make fun of him. Granted, the way he acts and sounds and it's obviously very easy to make fun of him. But he's like realized it. He's like, look, dude, let me just be a game manager. We're gonna run the ball down their throats. Mark Fletcher. We're gonna have some screens to Tony. He might have a game-breaking play, and that's even better if it happens. And they just slow it down. I mean, I think the total is really high. I love the under. I like Miami to cover. I mean, I still think Indiana is like this rolling ball of chainsaws, and they're just crazy. And I've picked against them enough where it's like, let me just start picking them. And, if I'm wrong, cool. But I just think it's going to be a lot closer than it is. And if you're giving me 8 points, I'll take Miami.
To you, though, which fan base is more unbearable to deal with if they win?
Oh, I love the Canes. The Wolverine Alliance.
Yeah, I know you do.
Hate you guys a ton. So it was mostly Miami fans just rooting for Michigan when they beat them. But it was another year where Ohio State got bullied in the trenches by a UM team. So I mean, it is what it is. They finally contributed to the alliance, so that's funny. And at least it's an alliance that makes sense. It's not this, Michigan State, Ohio State nonsense. But
there's no alliance there.
I'll be honest. Miami has a real fan base. This Indiana fan base, you don't have one.
There you go.
Doing this joke about how like they used to sell at the stadium and stuff, bro. Their stadium. I remember when they played Ohio State. It was Kyle McCord, and they could have beaten you guys.
Yes.
Obviously, that team stunk. And the place was like half empty, and it was mostly Ohio State fans. Like,
Yeah.
it's like Vanderbilt getting good. At least Vanderbilt still kind of sells out their stadium, and they've always had like a bit of history and stuff. No
Yeah.
one cares about Indiana. You were all Notre Dame fans a couple of years ago. It's fine. Half you probably rooted for Notre Dame last year against Ohio State. So I don't know.
You want to know what the funny
I
thing is?
hate Mendoza. Mendoza is this AI
Here's
fake thing. Sig
here's
rule, and I love Sig. That's where I'm at.
here's what I will say. Oh, you love Sig? Okay.
Oh yeah,
I am the opposite way. I do not like Sig at all.
Sig is the
And
man because he
and,
backs it up.
and the thing is, Sig is a raw type of coach that I usually like. I just think it's the fact that it's Indiana that I don't like. And you know what the thing is? There is a podcast. The handshake.
I know who you're talking
guys,
about.
the handshake bets guys, and there's another one that is like something street signs, like whatever, and they are like the biggest shit talkers for Indiana. And I'm like, guys, go back to your videos like a year or two ago. You aren't saying anything about Indiana football.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like we are like the greatest thing ever. They are the typical Indiana fan. They're the typical Indiana student. 60% of the crowd that went to that Big Ten title game had a basketball jersey on. They were wearing basketball pants, the candy striper basketball warm-up pants. And granted, I get it that that's like their thing and that's their color and stuff like that. This is a football game, guys. I guarantee you we're going to pay into the crowd tonight and you're going to see someone in Indiana basketball jersey. I can tell you for 1,000% fact, if you have Michigan or Ohio State playing in a national title game, there is not going to be one person wearing a Michigan or Ohio State basketball jersey at their national title game. Like,
Probably.
it is just almost ridiculous, the fan base acting like this. And I get it. Look, but here's the thing. Mark Cuban is the perfect example. Dude literally didn't care about Indiana football and now is donating all their NIL fund. Like, he is their NIL fund. Good for you guys. It's a great story. It's an amazing story. You're taking one of the worst program in Power 4 and turning them into a national contender. But I kind of want to see Miami win. I also kind of want to see Miami to win because I want to see what Michael Irving does. I really want to see this reaction and celebration from him. But outside of that, I just think Miami wins this game in the trenches. I think the trenches are what really handles this. And I think it's low scoring. And I think Mendoza gets frustrated. And I mean, Mendoza was not exactly happy in the Big Ten title game. He was very frustrated. He did not have a good game. He threw one touchdown. That's not very common. He was very frustrated against Iowa. He did not have a good game. He cost a lot of people money when he ran backwards into the end zone and took a knee instead of just taking a typical knee and ending the game. It's just one of those things where I look at it and I keep seeing I just can't see Indiana being a national champion. Maybe that's just because they have the IU logo, but them as a national champion, it just doesn't make sense. Like, it makes more sense to see the U. And I know you're a decade younger than me, so like you don't know about the U's dominance. For you, the U is like terrible. For me, the U is like this team that was so good in the late 90s, early 2000s that was just like running college football and probably should have won maybe 3 or 4 titles. And they just had some bad luck against random teams, like Washington beat them one year and knocked them from the national championship. Like things like that. UCLA beat them one year and knocked them from the national title contention. So it's just things like that I just think it's going to be very low scoring. Do not expect like this crazy nuts game. Miami's going to try and handle the clock. So is Indiana. They're going to try and control this clock as well. And it's just going to be one of those things where it's going to come down, and I think Carson Beck actually makes the plays and has another improbable drive.
Yeah, it's why I really like the under, man. I know it's boring and it's half time anti-American to root for the under, but man, I'm telling you.
Well, that you would say that, and maybe it's true with certain people we know who are non-Americans. They love the under. Shout out Corn.
It's a good point. So, but yeah, so I don't know if we have any other things we want to touch on.
Hockey had a bye this week for us. You guys had a sweep of Minnesota?
Yeah, one in overtime against the other one.
I will touch on one thing. The Basket Bucks played their best game Saturday against UCLA. That was the best game they played all season, by far.
Yeah, I know you were worried about them, so that was good that they got the job done.
Yeah.
Washington had the Michigan experience, the state of Michigan experience. I went through them. I was at the Wisconsin game when we lost, so questions about me being bad luck again have rearisen in the Michigan fan base. I will be in attendance. Michigan at Michigan State. That's going to be an experience. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to go about that game. Whether it's like I'm trying to fight people type thing, or it's like bring it on, all of you people. Like I think I might be on my Russell Crowe impression.
It's a Friday night game too, huh?
It is like Friday night at like 9 p.m.
Yeah, it's an 8:30 tip, I think, on Fox.
Bullshit. It's gonna be a disaster. Me trying to go home. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Michigan hockey #1, basketball #4. So, and football kind of down. It's almost like it used to be. So, very interested to see how it all turns out. Well, I'm really excited, but yeah, I think that's all we got. So, thank you again as always for watching. Happy MLK Day. This is when we're recording it. I'm going to try to flip it around and get this out as soon as I can. I'm still trying to think of a number. Indiana 21, Miami 17. There you go.
Hey, happy MLK Day and go Bucks.
All right. Thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.